Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Here we are. 8 o'clock in the morning on, and this is me practicing, using my head, Monday, July 14th? Yes. Monday, July 14th, 2025. Well into halfway into this half of this year. Already on like the kind of the crest of the summer as my brain kind of looks at it. I was shocked last night to be talking with some friends about some plans that we had made for the summer way back in like March or something, to realize that our plans are actually this Friday. I thought it was still like a light years away, but we're at that point of the summer. It's kind of crazy. But good morning, everybody. I hope you had a good weekend. I did. Man, has the first 14 days of July been crazy for me. Coffee and Chaos, nice to see you. Good morning. I'm raising my big mug of tea. Surprising that I'm drinking hot tea when it's so hot outside. We got a bunch of new folks showing up. Wheezy Belle and Anne with an E, and Rachel and Doris. Selectively social, I like that. Ronald, the blonde Cheryl, nice to see you. Yeah, Kat Roby. Kat Roby's in the house with her scheduled Beth Blinders. Yeah, so we had a crazy weekend, wicked fun. Not going to deny it, but I am looking forward and ahead. I'm looking ahead. Notice the difference. What are you looking forward to versus what are you looking ahead to? There's a subtle difference. To me, when I look forward, I'm kind of leaning into it. So I am looking ahead at the next 2 weeks. And I am looking forward, and even a little bit, no, we get some travels. I am looking ahead to the next 2 weeks and looking forward to the fact that we're going to be just kind of hanging around locally. So I'm wicked psyched about that. I love to travel, as you know, but it's also great to be home and then get my house back into shape where it feels more like a vacation home as well. So excuse me. We're just a casual bunch here, so you do you. You make yourself comfortable. You get what you're going to be drinking, maybe a cup of tea, maybe a glass of water. Water is always good. Hydrating. I've got mine ready. And there was something else I got a bunch of fun stuff to share, and it'll just come out when the time feels right. But yeah, there we go. Kat Roby. Walk first, then tidy the desk, the chair, and the filing cabinet surfaces. I love that. Patty M, nice to see you. PM 11208, my TVC 15, nice to see you. Hydrate. This is a fun game we play sometimes, and for those of you who haven't met me, Beth, Destination Decluttered, here on TikTok, on YouTube, on the interwebs at destinationdecluttered.com. Decluttering life coach at your service. I help you make decluttering less stressful, more easy, less dramatic, frankly, and more just something meh that you just kind of go through and get done so that you have more time to do fun stuff. And there's many ways you can do it. I like to have fun while I'm doing it. And one of the ways you can have fun to really, actually, if you think about it, kind of declutter your body is because your body declutters all the time. Think about it. Think about your body. You put stuff into it to allow it to help you do things easily. You drink water, you drink liquids, you eat food. Your body takes what it wants and it excretes. It lets go of what it doesn't use. Sometimes when things get out of whack, we sometimes store more than we need in the shapes of body fat and things like that. So notice that decluttering is kind of an organic, ongoing thing, both in your body and in your home. Okay. Hey, Boston Sports Girl. Good morning to you. Spreading Sunshine, German made. Nice to see you all. But in the realm of decluttering body-wise, one of the fun things we do here is, I have been doing decluttering live videos on TikTok and YouTube for easily right now, definitely the past 2 years, maybe 3, all of the videos that I've been doing, not the very early ones because it didn't even occur to me, but somebody said years ago, I guess I could look, but I'll leave it to you to see how long I've been doing this, but years now, multiple years doing these videos. I do know that I have over 760 of them. But I say this because doing these live videos, one of the things I've realized is before you even start to talk about the decluttering, the clutter, and oh my God, you're going to get overwhelmed if you kind of jump into it. I like to ease into it. We have a little bit of chat. We're in the shallow end. We're dipping our toes into the decluttering pool, as it were, getting comfortable. And two things that I always like to start with, and maybe I haven't been overt with this, but I want to try to be more mindful that every time you tune into one of my videos, you are reminded of a certain kind of order of operations to get stuff done. Because when you have a system, when you start with this, and then you go to this, and then you go to this, it reminds you that it's not just chaotic, that there's some order in it. So the order I like to share with you, to remind you as well as myself to do things, is check in with your human body. I don't coach robots, so humans only, okay? And what I've been saying recently is from your crown on down, okay? From the crown of your head, something that I picked up in my yoga class. The crown on your head, down to the bottoms of your toes, to say, take a scan. You can even do it like this with your hands. Go kind of like TSA pre, you're in the thing. Scan down and see how you're feeling physically. Is anything kind of out of whack? If it is, do something to make yourself feel more comfortable. Because being comfortable, both physically and kind of emotionally and mentally, is the best place to start to get the results you want when you're decluttering or really doing anything. So start from your crown on down and do a scan. Now, one of the fun things that I want to remind you of too, and I don't sell a lot of products. I don't sell any products. I literally went to Target, or not Target, I don't go to Target anymore. I went to Staples over the weekend, and I'm very psyched. My favorite notebooks to use for coaching and my own life, they're on sale, people. Staples, 45 cents a piece, because according to them, it's back to school. But what I want to offer to you is feeling better physically. Drinking just plain old water is going to help you feel better. Okay? It's going to help your body run better. It's kind of like, you know how you put oil in your car, or windshield wiper fluid, or gas. All those liquids help your car run better. The liquid of clean, fresh water will help you feel better. Now, as I mentioned, I've been doing these videos for years. So one of the things that you're going to notice, if you're a recurring person showing up or somebody new, is that I do tend to repeat myself a lot. Because what I repeat is good stuff. Why look for new things when the stuff that I'm repeating is working and is helpful? So pick a word, any word that you think I might repeat. And almost like back in the day where you maybe do a shot every time somebody said something, like on a TV show. Every time I repeat a word that you have chosen, you can play along at home. Take a sip of water. Take a sip of water. I'm trying to think of some words people have chosen before. Notice. Notice that I say notice a bunch. That's 3 sips right there. Love it. Somebody, I think it was Leslie M. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Fiery Angel. Slow it down. Calm down. The word, chunk it down. Love it. Down. Okay, because down is a big one. I consciously put the word down in there because it's one 4-letter word that if you think of, you're like, oh, that's right. I can go from the crown, I like a rhyme too, a crown on down, okay, and calming down, drinking down water, calming down your nervous system by slowing down, breathing down, quieting down, chunking down, writing down. Ooh, Cheryl mentions offer. Yeah, offer. I do like to say that. I don't force anything on you. Here, eat this appetizer on my plate. I just I've got the little tray here, being like, here's what I've got on offer. Feel free to take it if it interests you, but if not, I will move along to somebody else. No big deal. I do not take it personally. I love it. Mo B says we used to do that at Weight Watchers. Interesting. I get that. Awesome. So from the crown on down, make yourself feel good. Yeah, I love it. Fiery Angel says that has helped me at work when I'm stressed. So thank you. It works for that too. 100%, you guys. Trust me. I would get, as we would say in my family, bored out of my gourd. Bored out of my gourd if all I was doing was helping you make sure you have a nice clean house. Now, trust me, I like a nice, neat house. I like an organized house, a clean, all that. That is a given. But I love that what I'm offering to you that will help you with the decluttering also scales, also transcends its kind of decluttering silo. That's why I say I'm a decluttering life coach, because there is a lot of stuff that I offer in the words that I use that will help you in other instances. Think about that. When you're not feeling well, when you don't even realize it, and maybe you're being crabby and whatever, check in with your physical body. How are you feeling? Now, I know for damn sure that a lot of times I get crabby if I need to pee or poo, if I have a headache, if I've got achy muscles, if I haven't had enough sleep, if maybe I've been feeding my body a lot of just crappy food. All of that will affect how I feel, and then how I feel affects what I do. If I feel crabby, I'm going to snap at my husband. I'm going to curl up with TikTok as opposed to go out and walk around. So do not forget how everything you do is kind of intertwined, okay? So I love that you are using this. Yes. How about this? Nancy says, if I watch the news, okay, trust me, be informed about the news, but do not let it affect what you do and how you do it, except if it encourages you to make space in your time, in your life, for what's important for you, to create the world you want to live in. That's the action you want to take. What we don't want is kind of the opposite of all the downs that I talk about: calming down, slowing down, quieting down. We don't want to get you overwhelmed. Notice the difference. There's over and then down. When you're overwhelmed, your nervous system is like zing, a yuck. That's not a good place to be. It's good to notice when you are and then say, wait a minute, traffic cop hand, I can do something. I can do something about this. I can change what I don't want. That's why I say, like, I'm here with I'm like double fisting it. It's 8:12 in the morning. I've got my cup of hot tea, which is made with water, but I also have my water bottle. Set yourself up. Do the things that can set yourself up for success. Okay? So nervous system, physical body, and then emotional, nervous system. I'm always putting my hand on my heart when I think about this, because I tend to feel, my feeling center tends to be around my heart and my lungs and my gut, Like, I don't feel emotions typically. I feel other things with my fingertips and toe tips, but typically my emotions are living right here. So check in. How are you feeling today? If you're not feeling like you want to, I'm here to remind you, you can do something about it. You can. Now, to kind of shift into the metaphor of decluttering, or just the frank decluttering, a lot of times people think decluttering is moving your body around your house and moving things from one place to another and all that. Oh yeah, that totally is part of it. But to remind you, again, a certain order of operations. And the neat thing is, they tend to go from the top down. We said from your crown on down physically. Breathing down. Inhale, breathing down into your lungs. Exhaling slowly, putting your shoulders up and then down. Sitting down, feet down on the ground. Quieting down, turning down the volume on the car radio of what you don't want to hear, as opposed to pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance. Put the needle on the record, right? Nothing wrong with that, of course, because we all like to dance, or at least I do. But calming down is the opposite of being overwhelmed. I don't like to feel overwhelmed. I like to chunk things down, quiet down, all that, right? So let's do that. And decluttering. Decluttering, there's a certain order that helps you get into it. Surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Writing things down. It's not just the physical. Before you ever move your body physically to declutter, you've already started up in your head, and I'll just call it your heart, your nervous system. Okay? Your head and your heart are totally the brains behind, like they're the management team behind the what's that kid's story? Help me out with this, because I don't have kids. I think it was the woman who wrote like the little house book. It was like from the 40s or something. Mike and his shovel, right? You know, like Mike Mulligan and his shovel, maybe. Okay. But I think about that. So you've got like Mike Mulligan, who's in the cab of that kind of, you know, mover picker thing. And that's your head, and your heart is behind the scenes kind of moving your hands. Because if you don't think about your stuff and you don't feel about it, you're not going to know what to do with your hands to move things. So I like to think about this too. Again, the order is like how you think and how you feel about your clutter results in whether your little grabber hands move or not. Whether you get up and move your body, this is when we almost become robots of, you know, our heads and our hearts are moving this body that we are, that is our home while we're here on the planet. So there's a certain order that you can get stuff started. Okay, and being that it's 8 a.m. on a Monday morning, I like to always start with my videos as well as I can remember before jumping in to say these are some things you can do to get started. Even if you ate too much, you drank too much, you didn't do a damn thing over the weekend, that's cool. Notice it, forgive yourself your trespasses, and then say, okay, I get that's what, but what do I want to do today? What can I do differently? What can I do to make myself feel better? Okay. So AC Wild says, seeing what is happening as an opportunity helps me. Yeah. Thinking of things not as a problem, but as an opportunity. How can that change how you feel and how you feel and what you do? Good morning, Oceanana1. Nice to see you. Now, this is fun. So this is where okay, so that was me kind of talking a lot to remind us all on a Monday morning. Here we are. This is what happened, but here's what we can do to make ourselves feel better. But this is the stuff that I love the most about doing these lives, because I'll be here for another 45 or so minutes. Then we have a decluttering party this morning, people on the mailing list and people who want to be invited to the party. Mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. Sign up for the mailing list. You can get invites 9 o'clock to 10:30. What are you doing? You want some help? You want some company? Do you want some problem solving? You want to declutter and not feel alone and kind of have some fun and meet people? I will say this, Carla, who tends to be like, you know, the Alabama sidekick, Carla is going to be on every single one of the decluttering parties from now until the end of the month. She's got a wonderful Alabama accent to counter my Northeast Boston by, you know, have Philly by way of Boston type of thing. So we've got that going on. But in the meantime, let's interact, okay? I love this. Melissa says, I love the lists I make, a list for each day, even if I can get 2 things done at work. Yes, writing it down, kind of like Pee-wee's Playhouse, scream real loud. I just say, take a sip of water and try not to choke, okay? Writing down the stuff to do is going to increase the likelihood that you get that stuff done, that you do those things by double-digit percentage. Writing down is a tool in your toolkit. See this little orange train case right here? Pretend that's your toolkit. You have the tool of writing it down. You have the tool of sitting down and calming down, quieting down, from your crown on down, writing down what you want to do. Heck, even write down the stuff you did and then cross it off. I write down stuff all the time, and not because I like to make busy work for myself, but it is so valuable. It helps me remember stuff that this creative thing between my ears, known as my brain, forgets stuff sometimes. So I don't just say things out loud, but I'll say it out loud. I don't keep it in my brain. I will say something out loud, but if I want to really remember it, I write it down. And I write it down on paper, or I, use something on my computer. Okay? So yay, Melissa, loving your lists. Everybody here should love your list. And there we go. Yeah. Oceanana says, writing it down helps me stay on track. It totally does, because there's a connection between your brain and the point B to be like, oh, that's right. I said I wanted to. And I'm going to literally just look down at something I wrote down today. I need to call the oil company to say, please, we're supposed to be paperless. Oh, that's right. I would have forgotten if I was just kind of dithering around and getting distracted by the stuff around my house, but that's right. I want to call the oil company. Yeah. Yeah, TikTok 01 user, list lover here, crossing items off, list even more satisfying. Yep, Sconson says, checking off things on the list is so satisfying. And I mean, think about it. We were talking about feeling good and feeling better. Feeling satisfied? A satisfied feeling? Ooh, lean into it. How does that feel? I love it. Yeah. To-dos and to-dones, says L. I like to say it goes from to-do to ta-da. I did it. I love it. And yay, Kimmy L. gave her daughter an extra vacuum cleaner this weekend and donated a box of miscellaneous items. Rock on, hun. Good morning, Monk and Judy. And Melissa says it frees up the brain. Yeah. And seriously, the word of peace of the feeling of peace of mind, the feeling that you get when you've done something you said you wanted to do. When you go from to do to ta-da, it's just done. Yeah, and Oceanana, that feeling of crossing off the list is the best. I did this, and I did this, I did this. Yeah, Mo B says, I wish I could get confetti pop every time I cross the item off the list. Why not? Cross it off and then go, yay! Cross it off, yay! Get your body involved. Why the F not? You know? That you got your body, you can use it. Yay, Laura donated 3 bags of clothes yesterday. Yeah, so notice what you can do. Notice that process right there. If you like that feeling of accomplishment, of satisfaction you get from doing stuff, then set yourself up to get more of that feeling. Write down the things you want to get done. Yes, and this is 100% PM. You know what? I know what you're talking about. List help when hubby or daughter asks what they can do to help. Because you're like, you know, I've got a list. I literally say that to my husband. I've got a list. You want to know how you can, and this is how I say it too. I want to be very particular about this because I want us all to be reminded of helping. I'm here to help you in one way. But when you live in a house with somebody, and I have to correct my language on this a lot, it's not your house that somebody is occasionally chiming in to help you out with something that's supposed to be something you do, okay? What I say to my husband is, instead of can you help me out, I say, can you participate? Can you do your part? This is something you can do to do your part in creating and maintaining a decluttered home that benefits all of us. Now, I tend to be the person who has the ideas of what needs to be improved, so I make the list. Just because I make the list, I'm telling this to all of you, say it to yourself. Just because I am the keeper of the list does not mean, or even the creator of the list, does not mean I have to do everything I put on the list. Okay? Seriously. I have somebody today, I'm not going to lie. I have somebody today showing up around noontime who's going to help us do some of the things around the house we don't want to do. Those are people we pay because it's worth our money to help with the painting and to help with maybe, mopping the floor, whatever. Just because you are the list creator and keeper does not mean that you are the person then required to do all the work. All right? Hey, there we go. Now, Oceanana says, beautiful bedding given to my daughter this week. It was stored in the garage with that face. Now it has been released to be enjoyed. Yeah, think of the stuff that's in your house that's just sitting there, that's being stored in your house. Could you release it to be enjoyed? I love it, Now, sometimes when we focus on some things, when you're focusing this way, there's no way you can focus on another thing. It's just the way that we are built. Cat Mama has been focused on the yard so it looks good, but now it's time to go back to the mess started in the walk-in closet and the bedroom piles to sort. And after being in the yard, maybe it's going to be a relief to be in a less humid, more temperate environment. Maybe you'll be delighted to be back in the house doing things after getting all sweaty outside. Yes, and please, there we go. Country Fence says, I hire a company to come deep clean my house every spring. It's well worth the money. Yeah, we are recovering in our house from doing some projects down the basement. So everything in our basement for a number of months had been up on our living levels. Some of it still is. I'm not going to lie. We are moving it down there slowly and organically. But we have somebody coming in today help us get caught up, because it can be a bit overwhelming, you know? Yes, and Mo B, this is a really important kind of life coaching and mindset thing. The way you talk about stuff makes you feel a certain way about it. When you say, can you help me with the stuff in our home, that is a subtle implication that it's your job to do it and they're just kind of helping out. No, no, no. We want to rebuild that framework. Everybody who lives in a home that is decluttered benefits from, gets value from living in a decluttered home. Decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering is something that anybody living on their own should be able to do, and they shouldn't have to, even if they're used to somebody else cleaning up after them. It is beneficial to be a responsible and independent adult human being to take care of your own shit. And to have everybody in the home practice to say, I am participating in this. Now, they may not want to. They may not want to because mom's been doing it for years. Now, if mom still loves to do it and has no issue, whatever, fine. But still, you're not setting your baby birds up to fly the nest and be able to set up their own nest if they are used to somebody always wiping their butt. Okay? So I just offer to you to really think about it. That you are actually inadvertently, it's kind of like a bit, now I'm not a parent, but it's a bit like raising a child in tough love, but love because you know that when you empower them with the skill of decluttering, that they will have so much more of an easier life than those of us who have had to struggle because we didn't know an easy way to declutter. And decluttering really is making an environment for yourself that looks good visually, that functions well, that you can find things when you're looking for them, that you have a place to put your clean laundry when you've done your laundry, that it looks good, that it functions well, and that you feel good when you're in there, and you feel good when you invite other people in. So really take a look at that. And you're helping other people when you do that, you know? There we go. There we go. PM went on vacation. PM, we were down the Delaware shore ourselves last week. Perhaps we ran into we crossed paths on 113 or Route 1, I guess it would be. Yeah. Vacation. So this is another thing about decluttering. Your clutter is in your house because you brought it in there. You opened the door and you brought stuff into your house, but you're having more of a difficult time maybe opening the door and escorting it outside, right? So Patty's saying on vacation, only bought 3 things, not consumable. 2 tea towels, which are functional, that's great, and 1 postcard, so no clutter. Notice how you may be unaware of how you contribute to your clutter. Now, here's a fun thing I want to share with you because this has been working out for me, and especially speaking of vacation. So we went on vacation this past week. Gigs, my husband's gigs, we always try to, some of it involves travel because he's a musician. And so sometimes we are able to stay over places. I am really mindful I am so much less likely to buy kind of just generic souvenirs. I get really specific about, is there anything that I want here that I love? And if I don't love it, I just leave it there. I don't want to add to the clutter. And one of the things I want to offer to you under the umbrella of decluttering your clothing, I thought about this morning. One thing that's really helped me is thinking about using what you have, wearing the clothes you have before buying any more. Now, I bought a piece of clothing this week. It's rare for me to do that, but I knew exactly what I wanted. If that shop was still there, which it was, if they had it, if the stars aligned and it fit and etc. Now, I am really psyched about that. It was an intentional purpose, purchase. It was a purchase with a purpose. I am psyched about it. And every time I've already worn it, it's a sweatshirt, it brings me joy. But the other thing too, I want you to think about this. using what you have and wearing the clothes you have in the season. Are you already wearing the same t-shirts over and over again or sundresses, and yet you still have more like summertime clothes in your closet? One thing that has helped me, so I want to offer it to you. Now, I have the luxury, and I say luxury because if you see that I have 2 closets, they're literally like, they're so skinny. They're so skinny. Where's my hands? I have 2 skinny closets in this room right here. But one of the things I said to my husband, because he is definitely wearing his t-shirts over and over again, and yet he has a ton of them, is let's be mindful about what clothing we choose to put on our body today. And let's try to not repeat certain outfits if we still have other things to use. So this really has helped me. So what I've done is the stuff that I have worn already this season, I hang it in this closet over here so that when I go to pick out an outfit or I'm packing for a trip, I see the things I haven't worn yet and I give myself a reason to wear them. Now, it's not going to work out all the time because I'm not about to bring my 3 Mrs. Roper caftans on vacation, but I'll bring one and wear it to the pool. Boom, I wore it. And it really is a game changer because here's what's going to happen. Moby, I love that you love this idea. And I'm also sorry about the 2 coffee mugs that were broken. Yeah, and then yay, I get to buy 2 more on our vacation. Very cool. What you're going to notice too about, at least for me, maybe I'm more of a creature of habit than you are. I tend to go for the same 4 mugs all the time. There's many mugs that I never even use because they're more the ones my husband likes. But I am often grabbing for the same thing. There's a study out there. I'm sure I could find the fix. But in general, we tend to use 20% of our stuff 80% of the time. So before you re-wear an outfit that you've already worn this season, check with the clothing of this season that you haven't worn yet. Okay? And ask yourself, why haven't I worn that? Can I wear that today? Can I wear that this week? And listen for your answer. Now, if your closet is decluttered, what does that mean? It means that your closet looks good to you, but it functions well. You can easily find clothing for the season you're living in, and I mean that both in the weather, but I also mean the season of your body. Do I have clothing? Do you have clothing that's in the drawers of your bureau or hanging in your closet that does not currently comfortably fit on your human body? Okay? So notice I said comfortably fit. Now, I'm all about comfort. Do not get me wrong. But we can also, after a while, maybe, so Country Fence is saying, I've gotten too comfortable wearing workout clothes, but I have so many jeans and t-shirts. Okay, so could you this week be like, you know what? This will be the week of, I'm going to practice doing something different. That's what decluttering is. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to stop doing one thing and I'm going to start doing another. I'm going to stop reaching for the yoga pants and I'm going to start reaching for those jeans, and decluttering helps set you up to make these things easier. When you open your closet and all you see is clothing that fits me, that I feel comfortable in, and sometimes it can be technically comfortable on your body, but you feel like you don't look good, that's not comfortable then. Stuff that feels good on your body, that looks good to your eye, that you feel good when you're walking around the world. So if you have that stuff, just pull out. The decluttering part is when the clutter is when you have stuff that's like winter and too big and too small and then summer and then fancy and then plain, all kind of jumbled up. Okay? So Moby, I want to help you with this because Moby is saying so much good info. I don't want to go to work. I want to declutter and listen to you. Okay, Moby, I'm going to help you out. Please do not quit your job because of me. The good news is now, and especially because we have Wi-Fi back. We didn't have Wi-Fi when we came back last week for like the one day we were home. This TikTok Live, this Monday, July 14th, 8 a.m. TikTok Live recording will be posted on the Destination Decluttered YouTube page under the July playlist. Okay? So Moby, do not worry. Do not worry that you're going to, because the great thing is about the recordings, you can listen to them anytime you want. You can take notes. Take notes in your 45-cent notebook. So do not worry. There is a lot of good stuff, but already, Moby, I want to help you. You have already heard just the right amount of stuff that's going to help you live a different, more better day. Okay? So do not worry. You're not missing anything. You can repeat this. And also, I'm doing TikTok lives like every single day this week. We've got decluttering parties going on. We've got more TikTok lives and YouTube lives next week as well. The following week, there's some more. And then August is its own animal. Okay? So I just wanted to help you out about that. All right? Now, here's a really cool thing. All right? Judy says, because Judy, I believe, lives with her daughter, and there's been a bit of tension, pulling this way and pulling that way about the clutter situation in the home. So she is chiming in with a positive happen. I'm at a friend's, and my daughter sent a picture of what she checked off the list. Yay! I hope you've given her such praise and love. I bet you potty trained your child, right? You praised her for doing the thing that you wanted her to do, which was to pee and poo in the toilet, right? People respond well to better to praise than they do punishment. So I love that. The fact that there was a list to even check off. Notice the power of writing things down. Was down your hydrate? Okay. The fact that you identified some things that she noticed too, and she did it. Oh my God, here, hold on. I don't want to drown on camera. That'd be really random. There we go. So yay, Judy. I love that you haven't given up, even though it's been a struggle, and you're trying different things with your daughter, and that works out well. So awesome stuff. Laura's Little World says, I just decluttered a closet. Anything I kept passing up or was uncomfortable went away. Okay. And I love this. So Boston Sports Girl is saying, I wrote a reminder in this AM notes to rewatch this video. Yeah. So write down the day and date it was. Now it will probably be up definitely before the end of today. It takes me a few steps to get it up there, but one of the things I have written down is to upload this to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Now, speaking of writing stuff down and whatnot, noticing the time, I just want to remind y'all, as Carl would say, that there is a decluttering party that is starting at 9 a.m. today. Now, what's a decluttering party? It's pretty much like you decluttering your own home, a part of it, whatever part you feel like working on, or maybe the part you don't feel like working on, with a professional at the ready to help you when you get stuck. To ask a question when you're in the midst of it. So instead of just thinking about this and taking notes and in theory and all that, which I love, do not get me wrong, that's a important part of this. But it's you actively getting up and moving around your house and decluttering while other people are doing it in their house at the same time. It's only for an hour and a half. So it's done by 10:30 Eastern time. And you would be surprised. Anybody who's gone to a decluttering party here will tell you that they are surprised at how much they get done, but that it feels easy and it feels good after you do it. It's like a bit of a physical and a bit of a mental workout, but very much under your control. Okay? Yeah. So that starts at 9 o'clock. If you're interested in joining, I hope all of you are on the free mailing list that I have. Part of the mailing list group, I should say. If you're not part of the mailing list group from Destination Decluttered, it's free. It's free, so you can totally join. There's no secret handshake or dues to pay. How you do that is you go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, put your email in the little form, hit submit. You should be getting an automatic email with a link to a secret page. The secret page, Opal O. The secret page is where you get all the free stuff. You get to know when I'm doing a TikTok live, a YouTube live, the declutter parties, the declutter party invites, habit tracker. You can print out your habit tracker, all sorts of good stuff just for signing up for the mailing list. Okay? Just wanted to offer that. All right? So now user 168 says, I've been meaning to wear my own shirts and not my husband's t-shirts. His are so comfortable. Yeah, because they're probably nice and big and worn in. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? But yeah, I've been meaning to wear my own shirts. So write down, this is the week of wearing my own shirts. Now, one of the things you may realize is your shirts they do feel differently than your husband's, but pay attention to your own comfort. Pay attention to what's too big, what's too small, but what is the definition of just right, and just right on the current body you have, regardless of when it might have been different, okay? Here's another thing, too, that I want you to think of, too, regarding when you buy things and don't wear them, is things will disintegrate. TikTok, one user is saying, heartbreak, when leather parts of shoes and boots are perfectly fine, but the soles disintegrate. Yeah, it can be a bummer, but things will decompose. Okay? Okay, now I'm catching up. This is wicked funny because, yes, when I was coughing, yes, not choke down. Choke down is not a good... Think about choking down something is something you don't want, so we do it. Yeah, okay, yeah, TikTok user. Dansko and Blundstones. I'm a Dansko gal myself, totally. Donate your Danskos. Donate them somewhere. You don't have to throw them away unless they have, they're not usable, and then they're not going to be really useful to anybody. If you are creating, and this is to everybody, if you've spent a lot of money, and whatever your definition of a lot of money is, if you feel like, notice this, if you have the thought, I spent a lot of money on those Dansko sandals, and that makes you feel a certain way, you're going to be, if you don't examine that, you may be hanging on to shoes that you can't even you can't even wear because they are uncomfortable or they're wearing out. So please, everybody, this is not just me as a human in a capitalist society having to buy items that don't last as long as we would like them to. Notice the association in your head and your heart with how much you spent on something. If it was free, if it was a $5 pair of sandals from Kmart, would you be struggling versus the $150 pair? But they're both unusable right now. They don't fit, they're uncomfortable, they're wearing out. So do not discard, do not discount, do not ignore that many of us, I would say all of us, have a connection between how much we spent on something and how easy it is or uneasy we are in decluttering. All right. There we go. Now, here's an interesting, okay, Patty is going through a checklist. Oh, dorm list. My gosh, your daughter's going to college. Time flies, huh? Yeah. Now, here's the thing I want to offer to you. I was thinking about this the other day. Going back to writing stuff down, okay? And in your 45-cent notebook, your workbook, okay? Flip it to the back. Hit it from the back, as Johnny Showcase would say. Write down your giant to-do list, all the to-dos, but I want you to do it organized. Take a page for each room in your house. Maybe you don't want to use all the pages, so you fold it in half and you make 2 columns, and then you make another column, and you've got 4 rooms on one page. Living room, kitchen, bathroom, garage, whatever. This is why we use a flexible, just lined notebook. Dump the thoughts down onto paper from your head. Whatever comes up when you think of what do I need to declutter in the kitchen, write it down and write it down on a giant list. Now, notice I said giant list. That tends to trigger a overwhelm response from people, but that's just kind of your shopping list, okay? You have your big list, but it's not necessarily the one you work for. Yeah, and I love it. Love Bears All Give says the columns are helping me organize better. Columns, categories, chunking it down, but chunking it down in a category that makes sense to you. As opposed to being overwhelmed by all the things I have to do in the house, chunking it down to a room and some things for just that room makes it feel more manageable. Okay? Sorry, Kat Roby just said something in my brain. Wait, what? Writing down, but chunking down some things. And I say this because people say, oh, but I've got this list and I'm going to get done. Remember I said, just because you're the list creator doesn't mean you have to do it all, and doesn't mean you have to do it all today. Just because you wrote it down today, You could be writing down things that may not happen for months, but get it out of your head and down on paper so that when you are scheduling your day at the beginning in the front of your book, you can go back and pull some things onto it that you've already said you want to get it done. Yeah. Now, Judy says, do you tear the pages out daily on that notebook? I have started chunking down room by room, and that does help. So this is what I do. Yes, just sitting down and planning is a process. Ooh, country fences. You said down. I love that. Sitting down is part of it. Room by room is how your home is chunked down anyway, right? But what I want to offer to Judy, and I want to get really specific about this because I need to be very mindful of glazing over parts of my process that I just do organically, but I don't fill you guys in on. So Judy, this is what I would do, okay? Is I would say to you, like if we were coaching, I would have you get like this workbook, right? But I would give you, I would say 2 notebooks. I'm trying not to over notebook you, but in the back of your daily workbook where you're scheduling your day, keep that master list of tasks that could declutter you. That is, those pages I would not pull out. I would only pull them out if I had crossed out everything on those pages and it's no longer a list. The pages you would pull out, however, are when you use a page in the front where you use a giant page, one whole page for one day. This is my Monday, July 14th, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And each hour is kind of quasi-accounted for. TikTok Live, Declutter Party, YouTube Live. Then a whole bunch of time right here. I got yoga tonight. And then I'm going to do stuff here. These pages, yes, these pages of the day, when that day is gone, I make sure I write down all the stuff, the good stuff I have done in my keeper notebook. And then I tear this out and with delight, I crumple it up and I put it in the recycle bin. It is fun to look at the crossouts. Do not get me wrong. And I do not stop that process. I will cross things out. And at the end of the day, I have the fun of crossing things out. But you know what I think is even better, Cat Mama? I love having a book that is an accumulation of all the crossouts that I've had that I've done. Okay? The Keeper Notebook, literally, this is okay. So I started this on, I have 5, this is my 3rd one. So I have kept all the things I've done. And this isn't just showing off. 3 notebooks from that July 2020 to January 2022. I have gotten in the habit of writing down all the good stuff. And I will say to you, it has improved my life so much. It makes doing things so much more easy. And I just love it. So here's a fun thing. April 21. No. Where did I start? I was writing it. I thought back 5 years ago that I was going to write like a self-help book. And I actually was in the process of pitching it to some publishers. But then I realized I want to do the videos instead. It's much more fun. But I've got a lot of things. November 2020. Okay, so I started this book. Awesome. Yeah, so literally I wrote down, on, I've written down some good stuff. You should too. Yes. Yeah. Angie says, on your pre-recorded videos, is there one on notebook teachings? You know what? There isn't. There isn't. Maybe that's one of the things I'll do on a people on the mailing list. If you're interested, sign up and buy a ticket and I'll do like a kind of a formal training and we can work together on that. Would that sound good? If you like that? Yeah. Judy says, is the Keeper book in lists of things done or in sentences? Actually, I use just bullet points. I don't even like to use bullet points. I use little, like a little check mark, Okay, Angie says, okay, good to know, Angie, and okay, good to know. I'm going to write it down, you guys. Notebook training class. Notebook training class. And it would be on Zoom too, just so you guys know. So if you had any questions that you could pipe up and be like, wait, I don't understand what you're saying, because I totally want that to happen. Notebook training on Zoom. On Zoom. Okay, cool. Good to know. Yay. Okay. Thank you, Angie. Here's something I wanted to. So let me get back to Judy. Mine is just kind of bullet points. It's not Dear Diary. Today I saw Chris Mineo walking down the hallway and he's so dreamy, but he won't like me because You know, it's not that kind of stuff. Sometimes I write those things down, but normally it's like literally, we're here. You know what? I'll just do this. I'll pick something out of a random, where are we here? June 14th of what day? Oh, I was on a cruise. Funny. July, here we are, July 10th. What day is today? Tuesday, July 13th of, what year would this be? 2021, 2020, regardless. It was easy to clear my schedule of clients so I have time for me. I can easily coach and travel. I had lunch on my patio with my husband. I had dinner on the patio. And I reviewed documents. I sent 2 testimonials. I did some good things. I did some videos. Like, I just put down bullet points. It helps remind me that I have done good things in the past. I will do good things today. And then I have a record. And then I plan to do good things in the future. Okay, I'm hearing the notebook training. Notebook training then is going to be just like a decluttering party. It'll be a notebook party. How's that? Notebook party. Sounds more fun than training, right? Yeah, Bastille Day. Yeah, I was chopping the heads off of the people who just told us to eat cake when we had no bread at all. Oh, this is fun. Yay, we got some party people in the house. We got, yay, some people joining the decluttering party tonight, which isn't literally in 10 minutes. Now, maybe what I will do is, let me ask you this. I'm up for the notebook party. Yes, so total notebook party. Since you're here, this is the thing, you guys. This is a life coach. She never said that, by the way, but it makes a good story, doesn't it? Okay? If you want to get invited to the parties, just, you got to prove to me that you're not, a troll or a robot, and you get on the mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com. It's free. You get access to the page, and then you can do whatever you want with it. But let me show you a life coaching thing that just happened right now, okay? In real time. Angie asked if there was something that she wanted, if it existed. She said, do you have this? Because she was feeling that would be helpful. Now, it currently did not exist, but you know what she did? She shared an idea of something cool, and I picked up on it, and I said, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. It doesn't exist yet, but I can create it for you. Do not be afraid to ask for what you want. Even if it doesn't exist yet, there is the potential that your sparking of an idea, you asking for something, can make it happen. Look at how that happened right there. And Angie, you were the spark on that, and then you were brave enough to speak up and say, what I want. This is something I think would be helpful. And you did that, and everybody else, you sparked that, and then allowed that to happen. The people who ask know what they want and ask for it in a nice way get it more than the people that never say anything or aren't even in tune with what they want. Okay? So yeah, and what I think I might do is transform one of the declutter parties that's already existed. Because why not? I will look at this because this is a helpful thing. So thank you. And I will transform a declutter party. I'm writing it down. See, I'm writing it down. Because you ever talk to somebody, oh yeah, we should do that, and then nothing happens? No. So there we go. Good stuff. Notebook party. Yeah, it's wicked fun, you guys. Like, literally, this is a process that I've kind of come up with and refined and used for like the last 5 years. And it just makes things so much easier. And it's great to have a system and just a way of doing things that I can just not fall back on, I know what to do here. So, good stuff. So thank you, Angie. And take inspiration from what Angie just did. Tune into what you want. I have it literally for years now. I've had a little note, and I change it like every year. What do I want? What would help me? You know what would help me? Do you have a training on this? I'm like, yeah, kind of, but no. I would like to do a formalized one because that will help me run through these things, and especially in a way where we're doing it together, where if there's anything that I skip over or unclear of, and maybe, and I'm just thinking out loud here, but notice when there's inspiration, I would have that be a recording, but somehow only available to people on the mailing list. Yeah, I'll think about that. Because I like to treat, again, the people who say, yes, I'm interested, Yeah, and Angie, I mean, all of us right here, everybody has good ideas here. Everybody here has a creative brain. Our brains are meant to be creative. They're not meant to be filing cabinets. No, back in the day, remembering facts was a part of being smart or not. Now, no, we have outsourced a lot of that. Being a smart person is being able to use your creative brain to come up with solutions that things that are not working, you know? So yay, good stuff. Thank you so much for mentioning that. Look at what you just created. Your brain created this. So yay. Good. Notebook training sounds helpful. Awesome. I will say this to you all, and I got to keep an eye on the time because the party starts. The party starts in 4 minutes, okay? So I'm going to get off of this recording in like 3. Yes. Yeah. Anne says anything on organizing for ADHD, and I got to share with you everything that I do is run through the ADHD filter. It really is. I'm visual, so my surface areas are covered. Yep. You know what we do? We corral all the stuff that still you can be a visual learner, and we corral it into a notebook. Just one notebook or 2 maybe, but in a way that's not overwhelming. Okay, Angie's going to sign up for the 9 a.m. I love it. Laura has a declutter party. A declutter craft room. Yeah, and you're not alone. Look at it. All of us are of an era and of life that we're struggling with some clutter. But it's fun to figure out, I do the figuring out and I just share it with you. It's fun to learn how to do it differently so it doesn't feel as crappy as it used to. It's pretty much easy as that. So one of the things I was going to say, and I can't remember. So we've got some decluttering parties coming up. I will transform one of those. And I'm a visual person too. I mean, I've got stuff all over the place. Anybody who wants to show up for the decluttering party that happens in 3 minutes, if you're on the mailing list, you know the secret page. If you're not on the mailing list, go to destinationdecluttered.com, sign up for the mailing list, wicked easy, get an automatic email that has a link to the secret page, and then sign up for the party. The sign up, the door is open basically for the first 15 minutes. So don't be freaked out to say, oh, I can't make it. I am not one of those people that slams the door right at 9 o'clock. I leave the door open so you can come in a little bit later as we're getting ourselves settled and stuff. So if you're interested in that and it works out today, that's great. Other than that, we've got some on Saturday, 2 on Saturday, 1 next Monday, and 2 on the next Saturdays, okay? But I'm going to sign off right now because I want to make sure that I'm ready for the party people. Again, Beth, Destination Decluttered, decluttering life coach at your service. Okay. And you're welcome, Calm Carolyn. Don't forget that this is recorded and it's going to be uploaded to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. I also have a YouTube live that's going to be after the party. So if you find this stuff helpful, that's why I'm here. All right. Have a great day and I'll catch you guys soon. All right. Bye. Bye. I always struggle with shutting this off. Am I good? There we go.